Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is First Chord. In today's video, I'm going to take you through how I play my hymns. And we'll first start with setting up your keyboard. We'll look at some expansion for these types of keyboard, and you get a little bit of a feel like a church organ and a little bit of a pedal feel. Then we also look at playing the hymns in a closed position, then an open position. So I have my keyboard right here. This is PSR S750 Yamaha keyboard, and I've already installed some expansions back on it, and I also have the preset. So let's look at how I will set my organ with the preset sounds here. Since it's a hymn, we will need some church organ sound. So I'm going to select my right one here, and I'll dive right into organ. Then I will select chapel organ 1 here. Then I'm going to layer it with right 2. Then right 2 will be a pipe organ, and I'll have it right here in the organ folder, pipe organ. So that's how it's going to sound. But I think this is not the sound we want, so we have to do some alteration. So I would increase the volume of my right one, which is the chapel organ right here, to let's say 120, then decrease the volume of the pipe organ. Now the next thing to do is realize you want to get a pipe, or you want to get a pedal feel of the sound. So I'm going to shift the octave right here using the upper octave button I have right here to -1, so I can play in the closed position, and it's sounding like this. And we are going to adjust our equalizers right here. We have our right one. I want a little bit of bass or pedal feel, so the low equalizer, I just increase it a bit. So let's see. That's okay. Then with the pipe, I think it's too loud. So. We can add our sustain. So we can set this or save this to 1. This is one of the registration setups I've seen a lot of people use: chapel organ, then pipe organ combination. All right, let's look at the second one. So with this one, I'm just going to adjust the chapel organ, and I'm going to use a sound in expansion. It's called dunes. So I'll put a link in the description so that you can get access to all these tones, dunes right here. So this is how the dune sounds alone. Well, this time around, I want to just lower the octave of the dune, so I come to my mixing console, then I move to tune with a tap. Then on the octave section, since I have the dunes at right on, I just change it to -1. Then maintain the pipe, so I can add up the pipe. So you can just remove the digital sound programming for the pipe, so it will actually give you a nice effect too. Then you move the variation for the dunes to. Getting the bass I want for the dune, so I come to the equalizers again, then adjust what I have here. So it's going to sound like this. this to 2. That's one of the tones I've also seen a lot of people use. Then let's come to using the expansions too. So I'm just going to change this pipe organ here, and I'm going to use a sound in the expansion folder. So we realize for the expansion I have a whole lot of organ sounds here. I have organ flute chorus 1, organ flute chorus 2, organ principal, but I'm going to use organ principal here for this one. So the organ principal sounds like this. With the dunes this time around, I want to select lower the octave for the 2, so I'll use this button. The bass is too much for the dunes, so let's lower it. Right here too. So that's one of the combinations I've seen a lot of people use to, which I used to. And let's add 2 more. We can use the organ plano right here. It has a bright sound. This sounds like the preset pipe organ, but it's quite different. So you can use this for it's a bright tone. Then let's try another one. We can save this up to 4. And let's try the last one here. We have organ tutti for playing varied harmonies. This is what I used to play varied harmonies for unison and that's the organ tutti for you. So we can also layer it with not just the dunes. We can try some organ expansion which have more tones. So right up here I have my expansion folder here. You have this organ flute chorus which has a mild tone. And try other ones too. And this one too, this organ grandeur, it's a nice combination with quantity, but it's gets your playing muddy if you are playing in a closed position. It's gonna sound like it has a little bit of horns, and let me add the quantity. Gets a better sound if we adjust the volumes here. We can just explore around the sounds we have and the tones in the expansion. So these are the ones I use: chapel organ, then pipe organ combination, dunes, then pipe organ, organ principal, then the last one, organ TT. Basically, these are the 4 I use. Just adjust the volume. So this brings us to the end of setting up our keyboard for hymns playing. Let's start with this hymn, MHB 478, Jesus My Savior, Brother, Friend. And this is a popular tune. So this hymn can be played in the open position or the closed position. What I mean by the open position is you play the notes as they are or they appear on the staff notation. That is the open position. You play the notes as they are on the staff notation. For the closed position, we just do an alteration, then we just add the tenor part of the song to our right hand, then we will get a chord. So this is what I mean. Let's say for the first one here, we have F, then A for the treble clef, then we have A here for the tenor part in the bass clef. That's E right here. So this is how I'm going to play it. F, A, alto, then soprano, then tenor right here. Then I'll add the bass here, rather. Instead of playing it here, I'll just play it here. This actually gives much weight to how you play, then it makes accompanying the congregation much better than just playing in the open position. So when I add the tenor part to the soprano and the alto parts, I'll get a chord, and this is the chord I think what the writer wanted to use was just an F major chord. So what I do is I add up the chord. If I know the chord that the writer wants to play, it might be different. It's not possible that he will start with a D minor. We have F, A, and C. So we just stick to the three if we don't know the chord the writer wanted to use there. For the second one, we have here C, then F, then also a C here. So I realize we can add the B's too, which I added and play it back here. The next one follows suit. The C, E, G, and then G. There's a C major chord, but the left hand is playing the fifth of it. That's how it's done. It's very simple playing in this position. So that's how it's gonna be. There are situations where you realize the tenor note is going to fit in between the alto and the soprano note. So you realize in a case like this, what we have here, we have C, C here, then we have our tenor to be F. That's actually the F playing in the open position. There's that F, but you can fix it right here. Then if possible, you can add the bass, which is A. It's an F major chord. Then with this one right here, we are also going to have the tenor note in between the D and B flat. So you just have to know the chord. Then you realize it's an inversion of a chord that's written right here. Then you just play the chord. There's the open position, then close. Change the sound around, assuming when I'm introducing this song out. close position. So this is what you are supposed to consider. The tone to use for the song, and does the song require much energy? Are you supposed to push the congregation? Are you supposed to play in a close position, or you're just supposed to play in an open position? But I think it's much advisable to play in the close position when you are singing along with the congregation, so you get to support the men singing in the 8th notes. And that gives it a nice approach of playing. So this is how I play my hymns. So for unison, and you want to play a varied harmony to these songs, I just use the organ tutti and the dioms, then I write a varied harmony for it. I use this software called Noteflight. You can check it out on Google. Noteflight is an online web application where you can write all your variations, and it's very simple to use. I forgot to say this earlier on. If you are new to the staff notation, if you don't know how to interpret the staff notation, getting the full idea of this video will be very hard. So I'll post a link in the description below, so you check out how to interpret the staff notation. It will take you through all that you need to know about the staff notation.